In March of 2000, Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee sat down with Rajdeep Sardesai for an interview on NDTV. Yes, back then, it was common for a Prime Minister to give interviews to journalists across the board. Sardesai asked Vajpayee if he felt more stable now, with 1 year of government, than he did in March 1998 when his government had collapsed. Vajpayee took a very long pause. Then, in his usual slow-paced, measured way of speaking, very calmly said, and I quote, "Yes, I do feel like that," unquote. Then, after another long pause, he confessed, in last March also, we knew there was no alternative to our alliance, but problems came within our own camp and not outside. In our last episode, we left off right where Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister of India for the first time in 1996. But fate was not on his side and he would hold the position for only 13 days. Today, we look at Vajpayee and the Bharatiya Janata Party's journey from the 13 Din Ki Sarkar to his first stable government which lasted till 2004 and the subsequent elections. My name is Anviti and let's talk about the Bharatiya Janata Party.
अंधेरा छटेगा, सूरज निकलेगा, कमल खिलेगा।
30 अक्टूबर को वहां पर पहुंच करके कार सेवा करेंगे और मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे।
1970 ने शंका आरोपित की थी कि कश्मीर भारत का अंग है या नहीं।
900 करोड़ का देश और 50 साल के भीतर ये दल हिंदुस्तान की नंबर 1 पार्टी बन गया। भारत में पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ देश की जनता ने उसको सेवा करने का मौका दे दिया।
Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the boss of political Hinduism at that time.
They had this wishy-washy idea of Gandhian socialism as their core principle, which was neither Gandhian nor socialist.
Even Mr. Advani put enormous amount of pressure on Mr. Vajpayee not to demand or insist upon the resignation of Mr. Modi.
There was no doubt that till Narendra Modi took over, the remote control came from
Narendra Modi is a product of a movement.
India had changed. My simple answer is that India is changing.
There was a sense within the BJP and the RSS that to go beyond what it was in 1991, that is 120 Lok Sabha seats, the BJP needed to have a more moderate face. That is why in 1996, suddenly you find that Mr. Advani says that next elections is going to be fought under the leadership of Mr. Vajpayee, who at that time was in cold storage.
What the 1996 first Vajpayee government did in a 13-day government did was that it showed the BJP as a responsible government. That if it doesn't have the mandate, it steps down. Because until then, a lot of critics of the BJP were saying, no, it's a fascist party. Don't let it come to power. Once it comes to power, it will never leave. And Vajpayee was able to show you that, look, if I don't have the numbers in parliament, I'm going to resign.
It was agreed in Mulayam Singh's house by all of us that A, I will be the Prime Minister, and B, that we will have a meeting immediately after we bring down the government, and then empower me to go and meet the president. That was the agreement. The day the government fell, this lady went and said, I will form the government alone. So I went to see her. I said, we all agreed that we'll sit in your house and decide who will be the Prime Minister. I'm not insisting that I should be Prime Minister because I was promised. Doesn't matter, you make anybody. But we can't go to elections. People, after that too, 13 months. That's how it fell.
You know, the problems I think of Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2002, and after that it was downhill, actually started in 1998 when he decided to go in for the nuclear test. That was the major achievement of Vajpayee. If you look at his whole career, he got in there to sit on that high table of nuclear have nations with that testing, which had been avoided by Narasimha Rao because he'd got cold feet.
So you see, there are lots of theories that Arvind Kejriwal was actually working on behalf of the RSS and all the rest of it. I don't think so. Okay, I would compare it to what happened during the emergency and the JP Andolan. I think Arvind Kejriwal, who was the brains behind it, and he's the one who went and hunted out Anna Hazare and, brought him here as the face of the whole movement. But you see, he didn't have any cadre to, organize anything at all. So when they did that whole Ramlila Maidan, sort of sit-in, who was it who did the organization? It was the RSS. They were the ones who were distributing water, who arranged the water, the food packets, brought in the crowds, made sure that everything was very orderly. There were no law and order problems, much like they helped JP.
That was just a sneak peek because this episode is behind a paywall. If you want to hear the entire episode and more amazing podcasts like Let's Talk About and NL Hafta, subscribe to News Laundry. Support independent media, support News Laundry.
The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds of thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free, और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आजाद है खबरें.